I do believe the day that this thing busts out of here, it'll likely be the star of the show and the headlines that are happening, especially since I just don't think there's like tremendous percentages left over here in Bitcoin at this point with how far we are in the cycle for Bitcoin. Now, what you can see happen throughout the weekend, of course, is it breaks from this 4-month resistance level right in here, and then it does a little bit of a back test in here. So it's not impossible to go for a break, and we are totally just nitpicking really, really tiny time frames in here. But many things can happen throughout here before finally just a big fat bust out ends up happening, whether that's today, whether that's 3 weeks from right now. It is really just kind of wait for the moment to happen season for XRP. So
good evening, Warriors. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite crypto news related channel. And Johnny, today is once again a celebration episode for the XRP community. Now, I told people on Sunday, it was less than, I guess it was a little bit more than 24 hours ago at this point. When XRP is above $3, I will be doing a live stream. Well, that happened earlier this morning, and it was pretty exciting, Johnny. Once again, XRP did reach as high as $3.03 on some exchanges. We're back testing now. We did come all the way down to, I believe it was about a 285. And now we're well on our way back up towards 295, eventually back above $3. And I did do a live stream on Good Morning Crypto breaking this all down, guys. But I wanted to give a massive shout out to the XRP community because finally, we are sitting in an environment where I believe XRP is set to thrive here, Johnny. And we are starting off crypto week with bullish price action for both XRP and Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin community is really leading the charge. Now, I'm going to show you some data later on in the episode that highlights this, guys. Bitcoin's currently trading at $119,900, 2.38 trillion in total market cap. Ethereum back over $3,000, trading at about 360 billion in market cap. XRP 294 up 27% on the 7-day. When you zoom out for this price chart, as you guys can tell, we are crushing through key ranges of resistance. And I've said it for weeks. We needed a daily closure above 260. We got it on Friday. We needed a weekly closure above 285. Well, yesterday we closed at 283, and we are headed in the right direction here. And why is this relevant, Johnny? My belief and my prediction, we are going to have several closes above $3 for the XRP price chart. And that to me is very, very exciting. But Johnny, first of all, how are you feeling? And thank you for being here.
Well, first of all, you say good evening to all the crypto maniacs and happy crypto week. It is ironic that my phone's muted and Abs isn't, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful thing. Abs, just like BC Backer said, he's just waiting for a big fat bust out. I can't wait for it either. And man, it's starting to just prime itself. Look at that chart. That thing looks just a chart of beauty right there. Like if you were looking at art and you understood what to look at, you look at the Mona Lisa and you're like, oh my God, it's such a beautiful piece of art. When I look at that chart, it looks like a beautiful piece of art right there, my friend. They got their typical bull flag. You got the bust out. And now we just, a little back test. Like you said, it's going to squiggle around a little bit. And then bang, see ya. Off to the races. We go test 384, 388, whatever chart you're looking at for all-time highs. And to me, that's the next test point. How do we hang out? What happens at that? That's the moment of truth. We have never, since 2017, seen how she can handle $2. Oh, big shout out to Joe Weber here. Go ahead, Abs. I'll let you read it.
What cold wallet do you guys use? Merlin on Apple? Merlin is not on Apple. Those are separate questions, Johnny. So Merlin is not on the Apple App Store. We are on the Android store, but Apple hasn't happened yet. Hopefully that changes after regulation this summer. And what cold storage wallet do you guys use? We are not sponsored by anybody, but I can tell you guys personally, I love the Ledger products, right? I use a Ledger Nano X. That is what I use for a cold storage wallet. So I want to give a massive thank you to Joe Weber for the $2 donation, guys. And we already got 2,700.
And Abs, if I can just clarify for the record, because since he asked the question, Merlin is not a wallet, guys. So a wallet is what Abs is talking about. Ledger. I use Paul, and there's so many other ones out there. But Merlin is a crypto tracker, not an actual app. It's an app. It's not a wallet. So I just want to set the record straight there.
And for the record, he did not ask that question. Like I said, he said, what cold wallet do you guys use? And separate question, is Merlin on Apple? So I think those are two separate questions, guys.
Okay. I might have misinterpreted that question. My bad.
That's okay. No problem, guys. And we got Johnny Krypto here joining us. So Johnny, obviously, give me your reaction more broadly, and then we'll dive into many of the topics that I have prepared. Bitcoin broke its all-time high. Today was the first episode ever for Good Morning or Good Evening Crypto, where we turned on the episode and Bitcoin was trading at $120,000. this is where we have to start taking other people's price predictions into consideration. Think about what Matt Hogan from Bitwise told us last week. He said that there are 1,300 Bitcoin being purchased off the open market every single day from ETF issuers alone, not even including retail investors or people who are purchasing it and adding it to their portfolios. There's only 495 Bitcoin produced every day. So when people are like, what's causing this price action? What's leading to this pump? There are way more buyers than sellers of Bitcoin. And I believe because the liquidity was so low on exchanges, we were waiting for this big inflection point. It starts with the order books. That's why the market multiplier is so important for the XRP community. It's not that 500 billion new dollars became invested in Bitcoin, Johnny. It's that people are now willing to sell their Bitcoin for $120,000 as opposed to 110 just a few weeks ago. And we will have that same advantage for all finite assets going forward. The big, beautiful bill is on the precipice of being signed. The Genius Act is on the precipice of being signed. We've got the Clarity Act, which will give us clear guidelines on who's going to be regulating which assets. And it will clearly define, Johnny, the three categories of crypto: securities, commodities, and stablecoins. That's official from the United States government. So get ready for all of these catalysts to pump more money than we've ever seen before, and more money than we're seeing right now, right? More money than we saw in November when this project did a 4X. We are on the precipice of what Bo Hines said, a $3.5 trillion market expanding anywhere from $15 to $20 trillion over the next 2.5 years. But if you guys are enjoying this content, throw your 2025 peak price projection for XRP in the live chat. We're going to break it down. And I want to give a shout out to Alex Cobb as well. Yesterday, you guys are the best because I asked you all, comment on Alex Cobb's stream, see if we can get him on GEC. He responded to me, and here's what he had to say. Because of a bad experience he had about 5 years ago, he doesn't do any collaborations with anybody. If that changes, he will let me know and he'll come on the show, but I'm not going to hold my breath over here, Johnny. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Alex Cobb. We're fans of him here on GEC. And the reality is I've been watching him since 2020, 2019, pre-COVID era, when we were all just a little bit more sane, Johnny Krypto. But floor is yours. Give me some thoughts. We'll dive into some topics.
You know, and if Alex Cobb came on the show, he'd realize on this show, he will not have a bad experience. He will have a great experience, and he's just missing out. So, Alex, if you're listening, come on the show. I promise you, you will have a great time. You guys, make sure you go and message him and tell him Johnny Krypto said, come on the show. You will have a great time with Abs and Johnny. Anyway, with that being said, Abs, you know, the reality is the reason why we're starting to see this move is exactly what you said. It's supply and demand, and there's a lot more money coming in right now because people are starting to wake up. Institutions are starting to sneaks a little money in there. But that's all it is. At the end of the day, it's just more money. I mean, look, we're growing, right? What are we at? 3.8 trillion?
Yep.
What's the total market cap for the whole entire market?
3.74.
We were as low as 2.8 9 months ago, right? So that there's new money coming in now, starting to drive it up. There's not enough supply. We're going to get a supply crunch. That's going to happen. And you're going to continue to see prices continue to drive up. And obviously, there's excitement going into this week. For me, what I'm looking at is to see how we end this week. Do we end up with everything crashing and it's a sell the news kind of event? Or it's just like, hey, we don't give a shit about this. This is so big. This ain't about rumor and news. This is about, I don't want to miss out on what's coming in the future. And now we're seeing big money really come in. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It'll be a telltale sign. By the end of this week, how are we looking? Are we still climbing up? Are we flat? Or are we going down? That will tell us a lot in terms of whether this momentum that we're seeing right now is long-term money or just short-term pump and dump money.
Johnny, I think the truth is that the big move has already started. And we were debating this earlier, me and Gonzo, talking about it from a TA perspective. Whether XRP pulls back to 285 or 265, or we go from right here to 330, the macro move has begun. We've broken out of this 8-month consolidation, and it couldn't be more clear. We're at a pivotal range, and Waters Above, Blockchain Backer highlighted this. He was expecting some resistance where we are right now. As you can tell, we are at the 0.78, exactly where we stalled out when Trump tweeted about the crypto reserve. We got up to this price point, and we headed back down for another 3.5 months. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen. But if you're looking at a price target that may cause a little bit of resistance for the XRP pump we're experiencing now, that $3 price range is going to be pivotal. Now, here's the optimism there. When we begin getting daily closures above $3 for XRP, Johnny, there's almost no trading days up there. We have about 25 trading days in January to February of 2025. Before that, the XRP price chart never had a single daily closure above $3. You heard that correctly. Never had a single daily closure above $3 for XRP until January of 2025. So keep that in mind as we're going through this process of growth. A $2.95 XRP, that's as high as we've been in a very long time. And us getting some solid trading days there, that's not a negative thing. That is a positive thing, creating some support for the XRP price chart. Johnny, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. There is a major gap between here and 384. We don't know where we're going to stop. There's going to be a chance. Well, we did see a 333, right around zone maybe a few months ago. So there's a little bit there, but for the most part, we are going into new price discovery zones, and that's what makes it exciting. Is first of all, we know there's going to be one last key stop, and that's going to be the 384, 385. I think after that is where it gets exciting at. We don't know where it's going. We will be into new price discovery. And do you want to? That's when I'm telling you guys, that's when it gets nerve wracking. When you're above 384 and you don't know where it's going anymore. That's it. It's a whole new world. It's like when Christopher Columbus came to America and he put the ships out and he's flying. And he's not flying, but he's sailing. And you don't know where he's going. He's going somewhere. He's looking for land. But you don't know. That's what it's going to feel like when we break above 384. Everybody's going to be in nerve wrack because you're going to be like, oh my God, where are we going? What do I sell? What do I do? This is why you need to have an exit plan. And you need to have done your homework ahead of time to know. I know targets where it could potentially go, where those resistance levels are. The Fibonacci's tell you all that. So hopefully everybody's done their homework. Hopefully they got Merlin, they watched my video, and you'll be able to see how to kind of get a roadmap of where this thing's going and when you should take some profits, because it does get nerve-wracking once you're in that whole new area of price discovery that you've never seen before. It gets very, very exciting. But I see we got a donation here, so I'm going to kick it back to you to read it.
We got several guys, and I want everyone to remember we are already in the process of breaking out. This isn't some like minor breakout here. We are on the precipice of having the highest daily closures we have ever seen for the XRP price chart. All we have to do, it's huge, it's phenomenal. All we have to do is really get up to 330, Johnny, create some stable support up there for the weekly timeframes. My goodness, we are going to break out. And somebody said it in chat. We may go from $3 to $7 in a matter of weeks. We may go from $7 to $12 in a matter of months. It really is going to play out before our very eyes over these next couple of months. So shout out to everybody who donated. $2 from Joe Weber. Thank you. We addressed this question already. $5 sticker from Krypto Canada. Now shout out to all the Canadians. We love our Canadians over here at GEC. John commented, shout out to all the warriors in the chat, and God is so good. Well, our blessings are only beginning. Looking at a $2.95 XRP and $120,000 Bitcoin. Ply, I think this says, with the $5 donation, major thank you to you. He said, what a time to be invested in crypto. We are so early, folks. We are so early. And anybody who has the stomach or anybody who has the patience to stomach the volatility over these next couple of years, I've got an AI video that I'm going to show you guys, which predicted what the XRP price chart could do over these next 12 to 18 months. Even if we get to $30, Johnny, it's going to be up to 12 and down to 3 and up to 17 and down to 8.5. And if people aren't willing to ride those bumps and kind of climb that mountain, they're going to get left behind. And there were thousands, not hundreds, thousands and thousands, probably millions if we really did the math, of people who came into this project sometime in the last 8 years and sold before November of 2024 because the boring price action, the sideways trading, it just got to them. They said there's other opportunities out there. Massive thank you to Mariah. She commented, good time to be alive. Thanks, Abs and Johnny. Appreciate you all. Shout out to you. And here's the truth, guys. It's a great time to be alive, but I think this is only getting started. I want to emphasize that as much as possible. Brad said it. People are overestimating what can happen in year one of a pro-crypto administration and underestimating 4 years of positive tailwinds. We're now moving into an environment where we are going to have pro-crypto politicians in 26, in 27, in 28, and who knows, maybe in 2029, that legacy will continue. Massive thank you. $50 donation from Steve F number 2. That's what it says on the screen. So shout out to you, my friend. I highly doubt regulated altcoin pullbacks 80% anymore once this is all said and done. Think about it. I agree. And this is the analogy that I use constantly, Johnny, when I talk about the spigots of liquidity. It's like there's a pool and I turn on a single hose. Yeah, maybe day one you come out and there's barely a puddle. Maybe day two you come out and it's a little bit higher. 2 years later, my God, it's a trench in the ground. And I think that's what we're looking at from a cash standpoint for some of these crypto projects. In an unregulated environment, XRP is not only trading at 295, it's $180 billion in total market cap. Think about that. Unregulated.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like this comment because when we've talked about this in the past, I feel like the market is changing. It's going to be a different market. And everybody's used to exactly what Steve F2 number 2 wrote here with the number, whatever that is there. Steve, we love you. The fact that, normally people are used to 80, 90, even 90% pullbacks. The reality is that kind of normal bull bear cycle everybody's expecting. I think I don't think we're not going to not see a pullback. We will. We saw it in 2000 or 2001 and 96, 97, and 8. After a massive 3-year run, we did see a pullback and a consolidation. But it wasn't like what they're used to. It was a one-time and it was off to the races. I think it'll be a very similar thing again. Whether it's 70, 80%, nobody knows what that's going to be. But I think this whole thing of every 4 years, I think that's going away. I think regulated coins that have true utility are going to find, like you said, the spigot, the base level is going to be higher than what we're used to. And it's going to, so like you may never see, we may come back and we may go up to $10, $12 and come back and maybe retest $2 again. But we may never, I don't think we're ever seeing 50 cent or 22 cent XRP ever again. I think those days are over. You missed the boat on that, unfortunately. So, and then I also believe, secondly, Abs, the regulated coins will find a home. All the junk, useless coins, I think a lot of that will have a massive speculative play. They'll all pump and dump, just like pets.com. And then a lot of those will crash and burn and go away. And then we'll be left with the good stuff moving forward. And what you're hoping for is that most of those are bets that we've all placed on. You've got those horses in your stable. So that, listen, some horses, unfortunately, aren't going to make it. But the ones that do, oh boy, you're going to go on a ride like you ain't never gone before. I hope you like galloping. I hope you like giddying up, baby, because you're going to be giddying up on them horses as they're going to be trotting and running like you ain't seen before.
Johnny Krypto, there is going to be a day when we wake up, we do this show, and XRP's double digits. It's a matter of fact, and we're really not that far from doing it. Here's a piece of data that I think our listeners will appreciate. If we just repeat the gains that we saw from October 31st to December 31st, if we just copy those percentage gains and we paste on the XRP price chart, we are looking at above $9, right? If we just do what happened in November. So I think that we're only a leg up, a move away, a bullish catalyst from this market completely changing. And I want to give one more shout out. First of all, huge thank you to Steve for the 50. Huge thank you to David L. Barnes for the $20 sticker. We appreciate you, my friend. And thank you so much for supporting this brand new channel, guys. We do have 7,000 people watching on all platforms. I'd love to hear. I'm going to throw the comments on screen. Let me know. Do you think XRP reaches double digits in the calendar year of 2025? One's for yes, two's for no. Throw it in the live chat and we'll kind of watch those comments roll in, Johnny. But let's get into another piece of this conversation. What is today? Well, today is the beginning of what? Crypto week here inside the United States. And it correlates perfectly with this update that we just got from the Federal Reserve, where they said, prepare to go live with ISO 20022 on Fedwire Fund Services starting July 14th with these testing and training resources. While I rub my eyes, pinch myself, made sure I'm not dreaming, guys, it is July 14th, 2025, and the Fedwire is officially working on ISO compliant upgrades. Now, why does that matter? Because there's only a couple of blockchain products on planet Earth that can move at the speed that's necessary to run with these ISO compliant systems. Johnny, think about it this way. I love this analogy. If I'm sending you a text message and that text message is going to have $1 correlated to it, as a simple example, well, that value has to be transferred at the same speed as the message, meaning it has to settle instantaneously. What people are kind of getting confused with the ISO upgrades is they believe that wire transactions are going away. Wire transactions are not going away. I read a document from the Federal Reserve that clearly explained wire transactions are going to become ISO compliant, but they're going to be just as slow, just as expensive, and running the same way. But now they're going to have a message attached to those transactions. There's going to be a new standard, a whole different system being implemented called the modern settlement system. And that is the new system leveraging blockchain products like XLM, XRP, HBAR, and Algorand. Coincidentally, the projects that have outperformed over the past week or so. And we've been focused a lot on XRP, Johnny, and Bitcoin. Hedera and XLM are actually the top two performing tokens thus far. XLM is up 100% in just the last 8 days here, going from 23 cents in value to about 46 cents in value today. We also had the Hedera price chart go from 12 cents all the way to 26 cents in just the past 8 days. And what do we know about the altcoin market? When these altcoins start to move, they go higher than people anticipate. But when they start to fall, they go lower than people anticipate. So you have to look at the macro trend. if the altcoins are beginning an uptrend, we may see projects like Stellar, Hedera, and of course XRP all break their all-time highs in the month of August, guys. But I'd love to hear, ones, if you think that happens, twos, if you do not think that happens. Johnny Krypto, what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you clarified that, because I think people get confused all the time. They don't understand that the messaging system, the ISO 2002, that's what it is, a messaging system. It's just upgrading it and trying to make something that's old. It's like taking a horse and buggy cart and maybe putting some curtains on the windows to dress it up and make it look nicer. It isn't turning it into a 4-cylinder engine. What you talked about later was the back end, the settlement system that's coming. That is where when we talk about this, at least I try to talk about this all the time, the back ends of how these things work together and they connect, which nobody cares about. That's what's going to change. And the messaging will probably be leveraged to some degree in that. But that's the part. I'm always fired up every day, Jacob. Come on, my man. But yes, I love getting fired up. To me, that's the transformation that we're all investing in. And I'm not even sure people even realize what they're investing. Some people don't even realize it. But you're investing in the technology that's going to run the back ends of these systems so that these things can, whatever they're doing. If it's a settlement system, it can settle. If it's transferring value from one place to another, it can transfer it. So if it's a smart contract to run a certain, code that it needs to run, those are things that you're investing in, guys. You're investing in a new way to get the job done. Because where people get confused, Abs, is if I send you a Zelle today or a Cash App or a Venmo and I push the button, the money shows up in your account instantly, right? If I send you money right now, you're going to get a text message. It's going to say your money's in there and it's going to show up there. And you're going to like, hey, it's there. Great. But it isn't really there. The front end shows you and makes you think Johnny just sent you, $10. Okay, the $10 is there. I can go spend it. But behind the scenes, you can't. I mean, behind the scenes, it's really the banks don't actually have the money. And there's a cost to that, right? And they they hide all that behind the scene. Well, soon all of that will actually be true. When I send you $10, not only will your app show you have $10, but your bank will have the $10. That's where the value is. And this is why Abs institutions are getting FOMO to come into the space, and they're waiting for the Clarity Act this week. Happy Crypto Week to everybody. They're chomping at the bit for this week to happen, to be able to make this stuff all legal, all clear, so they can now start implementing these systems on their back end. And why do they want to do that? Cheaper, better solutions. That means at the bottom line, their profits go up, their stock price goes up, and it's good for everybody. So for all the investors and things like that. So that, guys, this is why it's exciting times, because you're not only investing in just some technology that may or may not use our speculation, but there are real world use cases that it's going to solve. And we're all going to be the beneficiaries of getting to play in that space. And Abs, here's the best part. Man, we're just getting started. It's just we're still very, very early for folks who ask. And so I'm just happy to see as many people get in now before we start getting into the crazy bull runs that I think are going to come over the next 1 to 2 years.
Here's the truth, Johnny. Not only do I think we're going to get a daily closure above $3 this week, I genuinely believe we're just at the inception of this entire movement here for the XRP community. People have been talking about how this project is going to change the world for over a decade. There's no other project with this type of an energy, this type of a community, this many wealthy, smart, forward-thinking people who are invested in the ecosystem. And I want to give a shout out to a couple of them right now. First of all, shout out to Terry Anderson with the $20 donation. Thank you so much. Now, here's what's important to know about Terry. He's got the absolute best owl in the live chat tonight. And I promise you, he's had that owl there for quite a while. Shout out to Terry and his owl. He said, thank you, Abs, Johnny, Mario, Gonzo, for always the good vibes and being real to all of us. Best in the game. Shout out to you, Terry, for being a part of our team. We really appreciate the fact that people are here showing up every day, and you are one of those very special people. We also have the Chameleon here saying Yanby with the $10 donation. Now, I saw people saying this in the chat. Can somebody explain what this is? Is this some new meme coin or something like that? Shout out to Yanby. I don't know what that is. Don't clip it and say I'm endorsing this thing, because I'm absolutely not. Now, I don't know. I don't know, Johnny. Maybe it's not even a meme coin. I'm just covering my bases here. This person said, King Johnny, thoughts on ICP and ZPAC integration with XRP? Johnny Krypto, you've always been a big proponent of ICP. And we talked about this for a long time. Filecoin, ICP. There's going to be plenty of these other opportunities in the crypto space for people to make a crap load of money. But I wanted to show this video because I think it's so important here. I'm going to turn off the audio on it, Johnny. But if we just let this thing play while we kind of discuss it, even if you're one of these people who thinks XRP is going to go to $30, I promise you it will come with volatility. And I'm going to play this video at a slower speed so it kind of hits home even better. What's important to know, guys, XRP is going to have these parabolic moments. We saw it in November. We went from 51 cents to nearly $3 in a very short period of time. What I think is going to happen as well is we're going to have these moments where people have the rug pulled from underneath them. XRP is down 30% in a day because there's tariff scares. Remember April? This was $1.61 asset. If you are scared out by that volatility, you're going to get caught in the way. And Johnny, look at this price chart here as it says XRP's road to $30. As you can tell, we go to 6, we go to 8, we go to 9, we pull all the way back to 3. We continue to bottom out. We head on our way back up. This time we're breaking out to maybe $12, $13, $15. Major pullback all the way to $7. We continue. We pull back again. People are really pessimistic. And then the parabolic movement begins, topping out all the way at nearly $30 by the end of the year. And this is the value of having a plan and being prepared in the crypto market. It's the people who get caught up in the euphoria right here that end up waiting for $50 and have to go through a 3.5-year bear market. The people with realistic expectations who say, I'm going to take a little profit at 10. I'm going to take a little profit at 15. I'm going to take a little profit at 25. Those are the people who have capital on the sidelines to reinvest in this same asset when it inevitably has another bear market. But live chat, I'd love to hear, guys, are you taking any profit on XRP at $10? One's for yes, two's for no. There's going to be a certain portion of this community, Johnny, who looks at us and says, I'm never selling XRP. I don't get why you guys could sell XRP. We aren't talking about saying we have 100 XRP and we're going to sell all of it at $10 and we're going to buy 100 back at 15, right? No, our plan is very different. If we had 100 XRP, our exit plan is maybe for 30 of those, right? 70%, 80% of our portfolios we are holding for the next 5, 10, 15, 25 years. But there's going to be a 20%, 30% bag that we use to get the most out of these crypto cycles. And here's the best part. If we're wrong, Johnny, nobody is going to be happier than me or you who is able to execute on our entire exit plan and still go through a bull market with 80%, 70% of our XRP bag, riding it all the way to whatever price target people are thinking. So pretty interesting.
That's the part that actually makes me the most excited that I'm surprised more people aren't. And I love that video. I think if you could play that again while I'm talking, it'd be great, Abs. Play that again. That is awesome. This is exactly, literally the reason why I have an exit plan. Because I know that's what's going to happen. We're going up, we're going down, we're going up, we're going down. And the best part is I get to take 30% of my bag or whatever number I decide, which means it'll be around 30. And I get to play this. I get to play whether it's going up. I get to take some up on the way up. I get to buy some more on the way back down. I get to go, and I get to take that 30% bag and grow it to 50. While I have 70 on the side that I'm never touching. So if I miss it, I don't care. Doesn't matter. It's my safety net. So to me, this is what gets me excited, Abs. I'm really, really happy. I'm actually glad you're able to show a demo like this. Just wait for this. This is beautiful. This, my friends, is how you double, triple, and quadruple your bags while while playing with 20 or 30, 40% of them, while leaving 60 or 70 as a safety net on the sideline. It's just a win-win. It's a win-win scenario, Abs. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I love this simulation of it because it gives you an idea of exactly how you can play this, And listen, you're not going to catch the tops and the bottoms. Abs, I may not catch exactly $10.31. I don't care. I'm happy getting 89%. If I sell at $9.25 and I buy back at $5.50 and it goes as low as $4, you think I give a shit when it's back up at 15 again? Are you going to care? No. See, as long as you get the mindset of like, who cares about the top? Who cares about the bottom? I just want to catch somewhere in the middle, 80% of the top, 20% of the bottom. You're good. You're going to you're going to double, triple, quadruple everything, and you're going to have fun doing it along the way. So that, to me, folks, is how you play this game. Now, that's not for everybody. Some people may say, you know what, I don't want to do nothing. I want to ride that wave. I want to ride it up. I want to be a rubbernecker. I want to watch you go up, then I want to watch you go down. I want to watch you go back up, and I'll just wait for the $30 8 years from now or 5 years from now. That's fine. You can do that. You all have to do what helps you sleep good at night. And if that is just holding on till we get to 30 and selling, great, fantastic. And if part of you is like, oh no, I want to be able to, double, triple, quadruple my bags and play it like Johnny and Abs are showing me, great, do that. Just do what helps you sleep good at night. And on the way up, you know what? If you can always take your original investment out, that's always a great thing. Nothing like being able to have house money apps. How great is it to go in the casino, you win $100, you put your $100 in your pocket, and now you play with their money for the rest of the night. That's a beautiful thing. You leave the place, you've lost nothing. Hey, maybe you made something by the time you're done. But to me, that is the way, I think is a smart way to play this game.
Well, I think another thing people should be excited about is like, if you don't take profit or you don't put your money to work, what's the real benefit of having all this excess value? Like the whole purpose of money is to use it, use these assets to even accrue more wealth. And I think that what we're on the precipice of for XRP, Johnny, is DeFi playing a major role for everyday people like ourselves to have some XRP sitting in a ledger, earning them 2, 3, 5, 6% annually. And that can make a huge difference over a long period of time. Now, this person said, read out Eleanor's last tweet. And we always listen to our live chat, guys. We got 9,500 people here. If you're enjoying this content, show us some love, smash that like button, and check out the brand new Good Evening Crypto channel. As you guys can tell, we're going to continue to give you live updates. And when the market is moving the way it is right now, I think it's important for people to consider the fact that we got to celebrate these moments, Johnny. They don't come often, right? How long have we been waiting for the XRP price chart to do what it's doing right now? We've had to wait several years, but I'm going to listen to the chat. This must be something big. Brand new update out of Eleanor Terrett. The big three banking regulators just issued joint guidance on how banks should approach custodying crypto assets. The guidance doesn't create new rules, but reaffirms that banks must apply existing risk management, legal, and compliance frameworks when holding crypto on behalf of customers. Now, here's the total rundown, the TLDR here, guys. 1, banks can hold crypto for customers in fiduciary or non-fiduciary roles, but must follow existing laws and risk management principles. Johnny, I'm just going to read through a bunch of them. I'll let you comment at the end. I think that might be most valuable. Number 2, key risks for banks to consider: cybersecurity, cryptographic key control, volatile markets, compliance, and third-party oversight. Number 3, if a bank holds the keys, it holds the liability. Full control equals full responsibility. And Johnny, I think that's a big one. An interesting nugget on this section: the guidance says that banks must ensure that only they, not even the customer, can access the keys, which they call the standard for true control. Oh my goodness. Not your keys, not your crypto. And the bank wants to take Johnny Crypto's keys. That's what I just read from that statement, Johnny. They want access to your ledger and they're going to take it off your hands.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'll comment. I'll comment when you're done. Sorry. Go ahead, Abs.
That's okay. Final bullet point here, guys. Third-party custody vendors are allowed, but banks remain on the hook for their actions and must do due diligence on them. Bottom line, the banking regulators will allow institutions to custody crypto, but it will be highly scrutinized, high liability practice. Johnny Crypto, floor is yours.
You know what? As you were reading through this, and I go through, I'm going to be honest with you. This is, to me, it's good. It's putting a lot of the responsibility on the bank to make sure that they are protecting your assets. They're doing all the right things that they need to do, and they're on the hook for it, Abs. If shit goes wrong, shit goes down. Look at it right there. Full control equals full responsibility. So think about it. This is no different than what happens today, Abs. You think you own your money when it's in the bank right now? Go try to take out $20,000 right now out of the bank. Guess what, pal? You ain't getting it. If you don't call the bank and tell them, this is just an analogy, but if you call the bank right now and say, hey, I want my 20 grand cash, you got to give them a day or two notice, and then when you go there, you can go take it out. But if you just walk into your bank right now and try to get your 20K, you ain't getting it. So it's almost like cash not in your hand, not your cash. All right, same shit. So the cash isn't your cash today. So why would the crypto be your crypto when the bank is holding it? It's not going to be. It's no different. You don't own your cash until it's in your hands. The bank owns it. Your crypto, you aren't going to own your keys. That means you ain't going to own your crypto. The bank is going to own it until you go and take it. Now, they're not going to stop you from taking it, but you're not going to get the keys. You're not going to be able to do like you can today. You and I could go into a crypto wallet or an exchange, and I could send you money right now, right? Well, if it's in the bank, I'm going to have to do it through the bank. The bank will probably have some kind of new sender wiring process that you're going to be able to use to do it. But you're not going to have access to the keys to it, just like you don't have access to your cash today until you actually go get it. So to me, no surprise there. I expect that. What I like about it is they are putting the full responsibility on the bank for the liability. So here's the key question, Abs. Will the bank, I'm almost guessing they will, but will there be FDIC insurance on your crypto? And if so, will it be treated like cash? Well, right now, every bank you go to, I think it's 200,000. What's FDIC? 200 or 200? I think it's 200 or 250K.
It's 250.
It's okay. So they'll give you FDIC insured up to $250,000 on your asset. My guess is that would also apply to crypto, which again will be a good thing because people want that insurance. They want that. Well, I'm sorry, not that FDIC could actually cover it because it can't. Thank you, One Eye Willie. Yeah, but at least that will give people the confidence, Abs, to go. I don't know why you're laughing, but that will give people the confidence to put their money in the bank. Now, here's the problem with putting your money in the bank. Just like right now, you only get what, 0.01%? You get like nothing in interest to put your money in the bank. Will they give a better rate on crypto? So those are two big questions. One, will they FDIC insurance? I think the answer will be yes. And two, will they give you better interest rates? Because you just saw today, Robinhood just said they're allowing staked capabilities for Solana and Ethereum. And if they're paying 5 or 6%, and the bank wants to get a 0.5%, I don't think anybody's going to put their money in. Who's going to put their crypto in a bank when you can't earn? So it's going to be a very interesting thing to see how the banks play with this new sector of the economy.
Here's what's interesting too, Johnny, is that all these updates we're talking about for XRP that we think are going to push this price chart forward, none of them are the biggest catalyst in the entire market. And my belief is the upgrading of settlement systems like the NASDAQ, like SWIFT, like any of these financial markets that process trillions of dollars every single day. ETFs pale in comparison to the amount that we are talking about for some of these projects. But I wanted to provide this update here. I just found it from David Schwartz in the background. Now we'll go over two updates. First of all, Johnny, I thought you would find this interesting. Blockchain Backer tweeted this out. Why are Bitcoiners so focused on throwing shade at XRP only? Because it reemerged as a threat. While XRP was the non-concern to Bitcoiners for years, XRP is suddenly threatening Bitcoin for the attention economy right on the heels of the same amount of Google search volume. So as you can see, he overlined the blue is Bitcoin, the red is XRP. And as you can tell right here, XRP searches have been surging since 2024. And we're seeing an uptick every time we get some bullish momentum in the price chart. So what does that mean? Price goes up, new users go, what is that? And then they start Googling this asset, trying to figure out what it is. It's a great indicator if average people are starting to figure out about these assets. And as you can tell, XRP is getting as much attention as Bitcoin in this short chart. Johnny, any quick reaction there?
This is the problem. This is the retardation portion of having a maxi mindset. Like seriously, you got nothing better to do if you're a Bitcoin supporter to worry about who's searching for, how much search energy or attention is going to XRP. You should be instead happy as a whole that, listen, Bitcoin can do it by itself, but it's better doing it with others. And if Bitcoin's drawing attention and XRP's drawing attention, you know what that does, Abs? It draws people into the store. Once you're in the store, then you start to see, we've talked about this in the past, right? We've talked about how Bitcoin will bring people in, and then you'd be like, oh, there's all this stuff here. Well, now XRP is bringing people in, and then they're going to discover potentially Bitcoin and other stuff. That benefits everybody. So why care? It just kills me that Bitcoin people are so worried about, oh my God, there's so many people searching for XRP. You should be freaking happy. Be happy that they're searching, because it's gonna be a halo effect. The whole entire space is a crypto space, and it's all gonna help bring attention to it. So to me, it's actually a great thing. I don't look at it as a bad thing. As you know, even though you and I are both XRP, investors, heavily investors, we're not fools. We don't have a maxi mindset. We have a utility mindset. Shit, we even got some Bitcoin. We know that at the end of the day, to play this game smart, Abs, you want to be diversified. You want to have exposure to all the different sectors of this economy. and not just Bitcoin itself. And look at that beautiful chart there. Look at when you built that account. I know this was a demo account, but boy, look at that. Now you can see where there are opportunities that you could have taken profits here and made and doubled your bags. But man, it's just a beautiful thing to see how that's playing out. But yeah, I get frustrated when I hear this maximalism has to go away, and it will. Just like eventually people will realize, like, yeah, Bitcoin is going to have its own place. XRP is going to have its own. The problem right now, Abs, here's the problem with it right now. Because we're just getting started, most people don't know where these things are going to land. They don't know the roles that each of these things are going to play. And so everybody's battling to be the king. Like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Because they're all going to have their own places to play and capitalize. Bitcoin's going to end up becoming a store value. It's going to become the next digital gold. Don't matter what you think. That's what's happening because governments are going to make that happen. It's already started. XRP is going to be multiple things. It's going to be cross-border payment solution. It could be AMMs. It could be tokenization. It's going to have multiple places to play. And so the reality, Abs, is these are all going to live together. They're all going to coexist together. And the sooner you recognize that, and the sooner you change your mentality to say, hey, let me get a piece of this, a piece of that, a piece of that, you're just going to end up putting yourself in a better position to create more generational wealth for you and your family.
Johnny Krypto, sometimes I feel like Bitcoin investors, they look at the XRP price chart and you know what they see? The Grim Reaper. They're looking at their inevitable death. And maybe that's why. And I love to kind of exaggerate and make it a little theatrical, guys.
Grim Reaper.
But the truth is, like, that's how they act. Like, remember when Jack Myers, however you pronounce his last name, came on, who's like, Ripple and XRP are a threat to American democracy.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, this is the guy who voted for Kamala Harris telling us that Ripple and XRP are a threat. And I'm obviously making jokes once again. But the truth of the matter is that when you look at a project like XRP, there are real companies every day starting to understand the power of blockchain. And it's the private conversation that we had with Sal Gilberti at XRP Las Vegas, Johnny. It really stuck with me because Sal, he's been a successful entrepreneur since the late 90s in the ETF market. He said he had never seen a community like this so excited and so invested in a particular company or project. So stands alone, guys. But look at the XRP price chart, currently trading at about $2.95. Now, the real question is, does XRP get above $3 before the end of the day? If we get a daily closure above $3, Johnny, that would be awesome and exciting. But here's the truth. I believe that we've already cleared the most important ranges. Daily closure above 260 was huge. Having a 35-cent cushion above 260 right now provides me with a whole lot of optimism, guys. So shout out to Johnny Krypto. Johnny, give me some of your thoughts and then we'll continue.
Yeah, Abs, I think at the end of the day, you said something very important. We looked at certain areas we wanted to clear. You could see we've cleared two of them. We're at and now another test point, very critical one right here, that we're probably going to go sideways for a little bit until we bust through it. I think that's what's important, is that we're sitting at some crucial levels. $3 always, any one of those times when you're at $3, $4, $5, $6 are always. Oh, but the chart, like Niall says, the chart looks beautiful. It's trending exactly in the right direction of what you want to see. I do agree with BC Backer. We will see one more kind of sideways pullback, retest, and then boom, off to the races. 320 would be great, into the zone, into that range. But once we bust above that, I then can almost see us forming that next level up. Maybe it's somewhere in the $4, $3.80, $4 range, somewhere near all-time highs. That would be very, very interesting, And again, I just want to give a shout out to all you guys who make donations. Thank you so much for your donations. They go a long way into helping. We're trying to free Abs. I call it Free Willy. You all seen the movie Free Willy. This is Free Abs. We want to free Abs from the rat race so he can do this, for the future, forever. And so, guys, the two things. One, make sure you go to the Good Evening Crypto channel. You need to smash the subscribe button, not only the like button on the shows, but the subscribe button. Abs, maybe you could pull up the channel so they can see what we're talking about. Well, you want to smash that subscribe button and help Abs get to 10K. And here's why. When we get there, Abs has a very special hat signed by a very special person. He's only one of a kind, the CTO of Ripple, who signed 2 hats for him. And Abs is going to be kind enough to give one of those. And I know how special they are to Abs because him and David have had these conversations. And Abs has met him a couple of times. And David even said, "Hey, I remember you now." And so it's really, really cool. And I know it has sentimental value, but Abs is willing to part with one of those. You can see he's at 6.95K, almost 7K. Operation Free Willy. That's absolutely right. I love it. Operation Free Abs. So make sure you hit the donation button. The subscribe button and the donation button too, the super sticker button. Help him out so we can get him into where he can do this full time. It would be awesome. And who knows? Maybe I'll join him and do it full time too. Who knows? We'll see. But at the end of the day, it would be really awesome as we continue to grow this to see him hit 10K. The goal is to do it before the end of August. So we have 2 weeks. We got 6 weeks. I know it's doable with this crew. Only 3,000 more subscribers, guys. So please make it happen. Sorry, that'll just be my little promo. And then also make sure you sign up for an exit plan, Merlin. That too. But other than that, hey, we love you. We love chatting with you guys. We do this for you guys because what we heard a lot of times is people saying, hey, we help change lives. We want to put good karma in the world. We believe that's the right way to live life. And I'm probably going way too long on a rant here, Abs. But let's get back to crypto. I am excited, dude. It's an exciting time as we have been waiting, Abs, for this moment for the longest time. And we got bashed. XRP got bashed. It was even called a 50-cent stable coin for the longest time, like one of the best stable coins in the world. You know, you guys are true warriors. That's why I call you warrior maniacs or crypto maniacs, to be able to sit here and hold through all the banter, through all the crap, through all the shit we took. And here we are now, teetering on the verge of possibly new price discovery. Abs, we are only about 80 cents away. Here we were like only 50 cents forever. And now we're just about, that much away, slightly more, from the all-time highs. How exciting is that, Abs, that we're so close to all-time highs and finding new price?
Well, let's not forget it too, Johnny Krypto. What did Waters Above predict? We showed it a lot over the last month. He said that by July 24th, XRP would be between $15 and $18. Nobody here is saying, that's 10 days. So you got 10 days for XRP to go from $2.85, $2.95, $3, all the way to $15 to $18. Live chat, you know what I'm going to do. I want to hear from you guys. Ones, if you think it happens. Twos, if you think it simply does not happen. But I want to give a special shout out with the $10 donation from Fuento. He said, do you guys think we'll get to $1,000 XRP by 2035? Or do we have a better chance of making a mermaid do the splits? Shout out to you for the analogy. I always appreciate that. But the truth is, guys, I think that XRP, if it evolves to be what the global vision is, a global settlement layer, cross-border for some of the largest payment providers on the planet, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's why guys like Jay Claver are so confident in the possibility that XRP may be $1,000 in this calendar year. I haven't said that. I've been very honest with you all, totally transparent from that standpoint. $6 to $8 for me. I think that's a huge win. I'm going to celebrate those wins. Anything beyond that is house money. That's really my interpretation. But when Fuento here, he's talking about 2035, Johnny, me and you had a conversation about this the other day. XRP could legitimately be $1,000 asset by 2035 if the developments come to fruition. If we get $700 billion from SWIFT and we get $2.4 trillion from the NASDAQ, and we get another $2.5 trillion from the European stock market and the African stock market and the Saudi Arabians. All of these different economies are going to be leveraging blockchain. And I think that XRP in particular is going to get a huge subset of that. So yes, my prediction would be yes. Johnny, what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just looking here, Abs. Let me just do some quick math here. And so we would need 530 billion dollars to come in if you assume 100x factor. Based on all the catalysts and things you said, that's not. I mean, again, we're talking 10 years from now. I don't think it's I don't think it's not possible at all. I do. Now I probably wouldn't use a mermaid splits. I would have probably said, better chance of getting struck by lightning twice in the same place. But the reality is, I do think that it's not inconceivable that we couldn't see 1,000 XRP 10 years from now. I mean, listen, after seeing what Amazon did, Abs, if we were sitting here at $17 and you said to me, Johnny, could we get to 3,300 by 2020? Back then I would have said, I would have said probably put the pipe down, But guess what? 20 years later, Amazon hit $3,300. So I'm not going to sit here and say nothing's impossible. I mean, the reality is, yes, it can get there. I mean, there are so many utility use cases that XRP can solve. And if they end up getting adoption for some of those, I mean, 3,000 may be a low price. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be even higher. But right now,
Here's something, Johnny. Sorry to jump in. I think you're going to love this. 10 years ago, you know what the price of Bitcoin was in 2015? So we're taking a 10-year time horizon. That means
Go back.
2025, 2035.
Yeah.
What do you think, live chat? I said it earlier, but what do you think the price of Bitcoin was?
I'll take a guess.
Go ahead. Give me your best.
Price. Let me take a guess. I'm going to say, 2015?
Yep.
I want $200 comes to my head. So I'm
200. Great guess. $250.
Wow.
So that means this. Let me make this even more simple. And I'm sure people get it, but it's just fun to say it this way. A $250 investment 10 years ago turned into $120,000 today. So let's just do XRP and let's say it has the exact same percentage gains from a dollar value standpoint. And I know there's nuances to this, but let's just have fun with it.
Yeah.
XRP going from $2.93 equal gains. Do you know what that would be, guys? Do you know what that would be, Johnny?
Well, I know only because I'm doing the math right now.
Go ahead.
It's $1,000. It's almost $1,000. $960.
It's about $1,000.
$1,000. There you go.
So if you want to talk about coincidences, I only believe in unrecognized patterns. So shout out to you guys. And if you're asking me $1,000 by 2035, I absolutely think it's possible. So that's what I would say on that. Massive thank you for your donation. We also got one from William Brenner. Shout out to you, my friend. He said, keep up the dedication, Abs and crew. Jesus is king. Now, Johnny Krypto, shout out to you, my friend, for also always making time for us, being so dedicated and showing up for these live streams. Shout out to Johnny Krypto. Here's what David Barnes had to say. Free Abs. Shout out to you. Guys, I'm free. All right. I don't know. Johnny
Free
Krypto
Willy.
With the free Willy, free Abs. I get it. And don't forget, $2 out of every 100 goes to Johnny Krypto's pocket. That's a standard we have here on Good Evening Crypto. You're welcome, Johnny. Johnny, pick up your...
What can I say? I'm cheap labor right now. You know, I try.
You know, there's some people out there who don't pick up on the sarcasm. There's at least one person out there that thinks I'm a bad guy because of that. It's a joke.
You know what, Abs, you know what? The reality is it doesn't matter. You're the greatest guy in the world, and I wouldn't want to be doing this with anybody else with you. I love you. You're good.
Absolutely. Thank you, Johnny Krypto. And here's what KG said. Abs needs to free us and let us live. Listen, we're working to do that every single day, talking about XRP, getting excited about our future. And Charles... he's somebody who's nearly here every single day doing it with us.
Yeah, I love you, Charles.
John said, yeah, Abs W2F. Leave him alone. So Johnny, you got people defending in the chat. Don't worry, man. I know you can't fight your own battles. You got your
easy, man. I give it 8. I got 833s over here, bro. And thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, but I don't really eat egg rolls. They're a little too high in calories and fried. You keep the egg roll, all right? And the $12. It'll be good.
that was my favorite comment of the day, guys. You just gotta.
I knew you were gonna like that one.
Hey, listen, guys, you want to bribe Johnny? You don't do it with an egg roll. You do it with a cannoli. And Johnny, what's your famous saying? You never eat a cannoli in one bite. That's how Johnny Krypto does it, guys. 2 bites on the cannoli.
Actually, the funny thing is that's your famous saying. I never came up with it, but I love it. It's really good.
It applies so well. Now, Johnny. Let's have a moment of clarity here before we wrap it up for today. I want to give a massive thank you. We got 12,500 people here. If you enjoy this content, you want more content just like this, subscribe to my brand new Good Evening Crypto channel. You're going to get updates from me, from Johnny. We're going to provide at least one update every single day on this channel. We've been fully committed. You're even getting Sunday morning streams from us. So shout out to every single person who loves this content, finds it exciting, and is willing to celebrate with us during these exciting times. Right, Johnny Krypto?
I think that's the best part is we all get to celebrate together. Look, we got 12,618 people here, Abs. I don't know how many likes we got. Hopefully you guys can smash the like. But the reality is, I just love the fact that, like, we're not sitting here. It's not just you and me gaining, but it's everybody in this chat. All your lives are going to be transformed. Some of you have already transformed. A lot of you have told me. Some of you are even millionaires, which I'm not going to reveal any of your names, but Abs, I know for a fact, people have told me we have transformed their lives. And XRP has transformed their lives. Shit, we had $1,000 this year. Definitely going to be a lake house party somewhere. Might not be at my house, but we'll definitely have a party somewhere, Abs. We see 1,000 XRP by the end of the year. I mean, shit, we'll be able to fly in your private jet, helicopter. You'll have islands. You can have all that $1,000 XRP. Let me tell you, that's massively life changing. But I think it's fun to dream. But when we kick it back to reality, listen, if we're sitting in the $10, $12, $15, $20 XRP by the end of this year, do you know how many people are going to be kicking themselves saying, Abs, damn, I should have bought more at $2? You know what I mean? But to me, you
People are
can't.
doing that right now at
I
290.
know. Are they? Yeah.
No, I'm just seeing it all over Twitter where people are like, you know what's funny? You talk to newer investors, and we've been doing this so long. I remember in 2019, I had a certain mindset. In 2022, I had a certain mindset. 23, 24, 25. Like, you evolve. And one of the things I've realized that's very common for new investors into crypto is that they're really afraid when these asset prices are low, but they always say the same thing out loud. I wish I bought more XRP at $2. Fill in the price target. It used to be 50 cents. Now it's $2. Pretty soon, if we go to this next leg up and XRP is 10 or 12 bucks, people are going to say, I wish I bought more at 3, right?
Yep.
That's just kind of the name of the game for how people come into crypto. And I think that we can use those kind of narratives to our advantage because you don't want to get caught up in that way of thinking. You don't want to get caught up in the idea that, oh, XRP is 290, but I'm going to wait for 250, even though it's not going to come. You should do what we always talk about. Play a game of accumulation. Get to a certain number of tokens that satisfies you, right? If we were able to look into a crystal ball and say, next year XRP is going to be $10. Okay, well, how many units of XRP would I need to make a satisfying amount of money for my goals? And that's going to give you like a rational understanding of where you should be taking profit, maybe how long you're set to be in this project. Like, here's a good example. If I have 100 XRP tokens, right? And I look at this market and I say, oh, well, I need to make $10,000. Well, that means I'm waiting for $100 XRP, Johnny. You see what I'm saying? So so I'm not going to be someone who's taking profit at $10 or $20 or $50. I'm going to have to be in this for the next 5 or 10 years in order to make that income. But if I switch my frame of mind and I go, you know what? I have 100 tokens, but instead I'm going to play a game of, regardless of what price it is, I'll put $20 in per week. I'll put $25, $50, $100 every Friday. You sit there a year later and you have a completely different portfolio. And I think if you're a newer investor, those are the strategies that, yeah, somebody's going to charge you $25 or $100 to take a trading course. We give it to you completely free here because there's no reason to monetize something so simple. Take a long-term approach. Every Friday, put in a specific number. And I've used this strategy for family members, for my brothers, for myself, for friends. Me and Johnny have talked about this. This is how we built our own portfolios, right? So we just got a massive donation. Thank you, Allie, for the $4.99. Massive shout out to one of our best loyal listeners. We love and appreciate her. Here's a hug to all of you. The fun has just begun. Shout out to you, Allie. We love and appreciate you. And I hope she enjoys her Johnny Krypto sleeveless. I think it's a sleeveless, right? The one that we signed, Johnny, or no?
We signed. No, it wasn't a sleeveless. It was a. But we did sign all of us. It was a Merlin shirt though. It was a t-shirt. So, Allie, hopefully you've enjoyed it. We would love for you to wear it, take a picture, and send it over to us. That would be great. And somebody made a comment. Yes, I did lose 22 pounds. I still have a long way to go. Oh, good. I'm glad you love it, but we want a photo of it. You need to take a picture and tweet it to us so we can show it on the show. It'd be really cool. But, I want to give a shout out to my man Abs because he said to me one day, he's like, come on, man, just get up every day and give me 10 push-ups. And I was like, you know what? I could do that. In between that and eating once a day, Abs, let me tell you, man, the weight is starting to fall off. It's beautiful. I love looking in the mirror again. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not there yet. I still got a long way to go, another 20. But I just want to give you a shout out for being there as well. And I of course, sleep. It's summertime, baby. No sleeves and a suntan. That's what it's all about.
Oh, I saw Dennis. I apologize. He said you missed my super chat. Let me go back and find this, guys. Here's what Dennis had to say. Shout out to you, Dennis. We appreciate you. You're always here, and we appreciate all your super chats as well. Brinks trucks are being wrapped in Ripple logos. And you saw this, Johnny? Did you see this as well?
I didn't see it until now. It must have zipped through.
Oh no, there's a real video going around, and I think I saved it. So let me just
okay.
locate it in the background.
Have not seen it. That would be.
There was a Brinks truck wrapped in XRP.
That is priceless,
Ripple.
man.
Oh, I found it. Here we go, guys. I think I located it here.
Okay, let's see. We got it.
Thank you, guys. Obviously, this is a live program, so we're doing this live together. Johnny, here's the video.
Okay, let's take a look. Oh yeah, baby, look at that.
Ripple US dollars. So it was a stable coin, actually. Let me see if I can go back and pause this.
You know what? That's genius of Ripple. I think they paid for that.
Yeah, because there's a QR code there.
Yeah. Let me screenshot that. That is fantastic. Oh, that is great. Smart. Genius. Great. Average. I mean, you want to talk about a company that has great management and awareness of how to, get the technology out there, how to make people aware of it. To me, this is partly why I'm so excited about Ripple as a whole and XRP the technology, because it's not just the technology apps. You need to have the right people kind of behind it, pushing it, engineering it, supporting it. And you got one of the brains, one of the biggest, best brains in the world there with David Schwartz, which of course you got his signature on your hat there. And he's going to be behind a lot of, helping this technology get out there, helping companies to implement it and so on and so forth, and helping to improve it, whether they're adding on different elements to the blockchain. But to me, I think it's just one of those things where I'm excited to know I'm invested in something that has a good leadership team behind it, as well as a good technology that solves many, many use cases. To me, that's the formula for success. Then you brew that with the perfect storm of liquidity coming in, regulation, and potentially, maybe we get a cut in interest rates, or we might even get a new chairman. I'm hearing rumors that Powell may be stepping down today. I don't know, Abs. You're probably more up to speed on it than me. What have we heard about Powell? I mean, are we on the Powell watch? Do we need to see if he's going to be stepping down?
Donald Trump has challenged Jerome Powell to a UFC match on the White House front lawn in order to keep his chairman position, guys. You heard it here first. Now, of course, I'm kidding, but Johnny, this is something else that's really, really interesting. So for a long time, people have been talking about Satoshi. Listen to this piece of data. Satoshi's Bitcoin wallet alone is now worth $130 billion. This would make him the 12th richest person on the planet. And that number is only getting bigger. And this is a narrative that people aren't paying enough attention to. If Bitcoin goes to $225,000, Johnny, he's going to be like the 4th or 5th richest person. If we get to $500,000, Satoshi Nakamoto is officially the wealthiest man, quote unquote, person, quote unquote, on the planet. This would be not only the first anonymous richest person in the world, which is so bizarre, but it would also be possibly like I'm honestly still deciding, guys. I don't want to share any opinions definitively yet. I can't wrap my head around it. That's kind of how I feel, where it's like, what do you mean? This account could be worth $1 trillion and we're all just not going to acknowledge that we should know who this is? Or I don't know. It's bizarre. What do you think, Johnny?
Well, Morton Henderson figured it out. Morton, kudos to you. Give that man a cigar, Abs, because he thinks I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know, with 130 billion. Maybe I'll release some of that, throughout the days, Abs, to make people, show that it's alive. But no, on a serious note, you're not wrong. I mean, imagine we've got this 3rd or 4th, 5th largest, richest person, and nobody has any clue who he is, what it's worth. And if that wallet starts doing stuff, Abs, it starts, people are going to get very, very, nervous, right? Like, what's going on? Who is it? What's it going on? Now, personally, between you and me, I think we've talked about this off the air and on the air, that we think this is probably a 3-letter agency that's really, maybe it's several 3-letter agencies that make this up. Who knows? We're never going to know, unfortunately. But you're not wrong. It is kind of weird to think that there could be, no, I don't think it's Jack Dorsey. It's kind of weird to know that there could be a massive amount of money sitting there and nobody knows who it is. I don't think it's Brito. I don't think it's anybody that we know. I don't think it's any of the names you know, because if it was, it'd be too simple. I think it's people we don't know. It's CIA agent, that kind of 3-letter agency people, I should say, that probably have put this thing together. Governments typically will try, new technologies, and every new technology we have, Abs, usually starts with a government. The cell phone, computers, rocket ships, all started with governments, forming this stuff. So it's no surprise here to see that this technology was probably started by a government agency. Television, exactly. So, exactly, right? So to me, why would this one be any different? That's the question you got to ask yourself. And in this case, if they don't want to reveal who it is, and this is the anonymous name they came up with, okay, great. Then this is probably just sitting in a government account somewhere, and who knows where it'll be used. But the nice thing is you'll be able to see when stuff's going in and out, and potentially where it's going. So I guess that's about the best we're going to be able to track when the time comes. But it is crazy to think that it's worth $130 billion today. That's incredible. Incredible value.
We saw a couple of wallets start moving Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, and you saw how the market reacted. People were panicking. People were freaking out. They thought it was the beginning of the end or whatever. And then here we are a week later, Bitcoin creating a new all-time high, going up $9,000 in only 72 hours. But we have 13,700 people here, guys. I'd love to hear in the live chat. We think Satoshi may be a 3-letter agency. What 3-letter agency do you think Johnny works for, guys? I'd love to hear some of your comments. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you should have left. I would have loved to hear what people think. You know what? Just answer that question anyway.
Yeah, I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, guys. T. Tosca, I think that's how you pronounce this, with the $5 donation. Massive thank you to you, my friend. He said, "Can't wait to switch up on all my day ones." Now, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, maybe be loyal to the people who deserve your loyalty, and then you know what? If someone's draining your energy and you vibrate out of alignment, you got to cut the loose ends, my friends. That's how it goes. You got to lose something to be rewarded with something else. Dennis, with another $2 donation, commented, "Could be Brito to finance the Ripple ODL." Maybe. You never know, guys. Who knows what you have to say. Now, we're getting some FBI, ITL, Arby's. Guys, we're getting close.
I saw a KFC in there too. That's pretty freaking funny. You nailed it, DJQ. KFC. That's right. That's exactly who I work for. You got it, my man. Oh, that's stupid. Our chat has the best minds, the best creativity there, Abs.
We're appreciative of you guys. And I just want to say a huge thank you. We are an hour over the stream. We're going to begin wrapping it up for today. So massive thank you to Johnny. Big thank you to everybody in the chat. We're going to close it out how we always do. Just giving a special thank you to every single person who donated. Massive thank you to every single person who shows up, enjoys this content, and is on the XRP journey with us all, Johnny. Now, as you can see, XRP slight pullback here, trading at about $2.91. I'd really just keep an eye on 285. If we lose 285, we're going to go to 265. I think we almost certainly hold 265. With what I've seen from a TA perspective, that is as low as the XRP price chart would go. So use that to your advantage, guys. Massive thank you to Joe Weber, Crypto Canada. Shout out to the Canadians with the $5 dono. We got John Delgino, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, John, because you're always here, and we appreciate you, my friend. Ply, shout out to Ply, shout out to Mariah V, shout out to Steve F number 2 with the $50 dono. Massive thank you to you, my friend. And I think his comment was so great. It helped us kind of expand on our conversation. I highly doubt regulated altcoins pull back 80%. Spot on, my friend. I do think this market will continue to evolve. David commented, $20 super sticker. No comment at first. Massive thank you to you, David. We appreciate you. Terry Anderson, the official owl of the Good Evening Crypto community. Shout out to Terry and the official owl of our community. We got the Chameleon with the $10 dono. Fuento, thank you so much. William,
have we figured out what Yanabe is yet? Did anybody reply what that means?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll have to find out. Free Abs, said David Barnes. We got Dennis with the $2 donation. Massive shout out to Ali. Massive shout out to Tosca. And Tosca, again, can't wait to switch up on all my day ones. So they doubled down. They said, I can't wait to switch up on all my day ones. And they can't wait to switch up on all their day ones. Listen, I apologize for those day one people. I'm not sure what they did. Sounds like they did some. They're getting the boot, Johnny Crypto. Remember that, Tosca. You got your Good Evening Crypto family right here. Hopefully we're not one of those day ones. Johnny, any closing remarks? And big thank you for today.
Yeah, first of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody who donated. Thank you so much. And for those who didn't, thank you for just being here, supporting the channel, smashing the like button. Don't forget, guys, go over to the Good Evening Crypto channel, hit the subscribe button, help Abs get to 10,000. We want to get that to 10,000 likes by the end of August. If we do, we will raffle away that very precious David Schwartz signed hat that Abs is sitting on over there. Abs, maybe give a little peek of it over there. You got a little peek?
Not today, guys. Not today.
Okay, you're not going to get a peek of it today. But as we get that number up a little higher, we'll get a little peek, a little taste of it. But we're gonna raffle that bad boy away when we hit that milestone. So let's hope the sooner we get there, the sooner we'll have that raffle, and you guys will all be able to test that out there. So thank you for that. Be excited. Happy Crypto Week to all you guys. I'm sure you'll all be keeping an eye on it. And Abs and I will be too. And if we see any major breakouts, you know what? Make sure you've turned on the notification button because we can go live at any time. You never know when we're going live on Good Evening Crypto. That's the beauty of it. So you want to have those notifications turned on so you can join us live and participate in the chat and hear what we got to say or what we're thinking about as things start humping and pumping, man. I'm getting excited, baby. Here we go.
Shout out to our boy, guys. We got Reggie in the house. And Reggie, we always see you here. So big shout out and thank you to you for the $20 donation. He said, do you think private coins will be affected by regulations? Now, Johnny, I have a response, but I've been talking so much. Floor is yours, and then I'll respond after.
You know, that's a very, very great. That's a very good question. You know, when you think about it right now, you've got a lot of this idea of, banks and stuff being afraid of doing things on public chains, and the privacy is so important. I think that, I don't know what he means by will be affected by regulations, meaning does he think they're going away? If anything, I think regulations could potentially help them, because as we move into the space of, there's going to need to be a chunk or an area of privacy. And I think private coins will actually be affected in a positive way. If anything, they'll become more valuable based on regulations. But that's just my 8 cents. But Abs, go ahead and kick it back to you.
So when I think about private coins, I'm not sure if he's talking about like an Onyx token or if he's talking about something that like, because here's the thing, banks, why are blockchains public, right? This is something everybody should know. Banks need our liquidity, right? This is why blockchain products are public. This is why the XRP ledger isn't a private blockchain that me and Johnny can't buy. They need our money. They need our order book value. They need our liquidity, be providing access to this growing emerging market. Once this is regulated and the biggest pools of capital start stepping in, it may not be as necessary, Johnny, to have retail liquidity in the market. So I think it's a nuanced question. We're going to have to watch it play out. Do you think private coins will be affected by regulations? I think private coins will be positively affected by regulation because they're going to have clear rules and guidelines for what they can and can't do. The real question is, I don't know if they win. Like, I don't think a private blockchain product is better than a public blockchain product. And David Schwartz has done some great updates on this about why the XRP ledger is public, because the XRP ledger could have just been a private blockchain. They needed access to public liquidity, and that's actually about sourcing that public access that's so important. So
yeah, and you know what, Alex, just to build on what you said, I kind of read this question differently. I was thinking it more as privacy coins, not private coins. So if he's talking private blockchains, I think that there will be regulations around those too. Absolutely, they will have them. Companies will try to have their own internal private blockchains. I think that's going to happen. But I think there will be limitations because at the end of the day, when companies create their own products, it's limited. And I think what the benefit here, and so what I think is going to happen is you're going to get this kind of, when I think of technology as a whole, you're going to have interbank, they'll have their own private things, apps, but then to work outside into the rest of the world, connected globally, I think that'll be through public blockchains. So I think he says privacy coins. If he's saying privacy coins, then yeah, then that's that's different. I think there's no doubt about it that they will. I don't think they're going to be treated any different, to be honest with you. I think they'll be treated as. I don't think there'll be any special regulations if that's what you're asking, Reggie. I think at the end of the day, there will be a need for privacy coins. I don't think they're going to go away, and I don't think regulation is going to be any different than some of the other. But what we will get is a segmentation of how all these things are going to work. That's what the Clarity Act is going to tell us. What's a meme coin, or what's a collectible, or what's a security, what's not a security, regulations around that. But in terms of a privacy coin, I don't see them having special regulations around that versus a non-privacy coin. But we'll see. Time will tell. We're going to find out soon, my friend.
Johnny Krypto, I got to ask you, just to end today's episode, really think about it. We're sitting here at $2.90.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with the price action that we've seen thus far? Like, I want to know from the bottom of your heart, like, if somebody told you 3 years ago, this is where we'd be, do you think you'd be satisfied with where we are today? Because I know it's a fun kind of subjective conversation, but I think it's going to give some good context for where long-term XRP holders are. I could keep going, but I want to leave it open-ended. So
given the fact that we have had a lawsuit on our back all this time, had we not had the lawsuit, I'd tell you no. I'd be very dissatisfied at where we are. But because we had the lawsuit, which I know held us back significantly, I'm satisfied at where we are today because I'm satisfied that I'm seeing the true value here. See that sideways action that we see here for about 6 months? That tells me where we should have been 3 years ago and where we could have been potentially even much higher. Go Steve again. We could have been potentially even higher today, Abs, had we not been, what's the word? I don't want to use the word delayed, but the company was handicapped. For the lack of a better word, the XRP technology and Ripple, the company, were handicapped for 4 years. Okay? We were set back and not able to grow and get the adoption that might have had us at a higher valuation today than where we are. But because of the lawsuit, I am okay with where we are today. I'm totally comfortable with it. I understand it. I'm not dissatisfied given what they had to go through. And I'm also excited about where we're going in the future. So hopefully that answers your question.
All right, I just wanted to show our listeners, a live first ever Gary Gensler appearance on the Good Evening Crypto program. Now, we've talked about this for a long time. Gary Gensler, get back under the rock that you came from, my friends. Now, Johnny, first of all, you're the famous for the props. I thought that prop was too good not to use. And here, I think we should make a deal here. Let's do it live on GEC. Johnny, I think we should go live tonight if XRP is above $3. Live chat, smash the like button if you'd like for us to go live once we are officially trading above $3. Now, we saw it earlier this morning, but the nighttime, this is Good Evening Crypto for a reason. That's when we're excited to go live. That's when we're optimistic. And I'd love to close out the day with a little $3 XRP live stream, guys. So one's for yes if you're excited. I also want to give a big shout out to Steve F. number 2 with the second dono. We appreciate the $5.89 donation. The good energy is in the air, Johnny. You may even get tired of winning. And we've been saying that. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest altcoin market you've ever seen. And that's what we're waiting on towards the back end of 2025. But we love you guys. We appreciate you all. There seems to be a lot of ones. Johnny Crypto XRP is at 294. Imagine we just get a nice 5-cent candle right now. It starts trading above $3. We got to go live in 10 minutes, right? Floor is yours. I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? I think $3 is kind of setting the bar a little low. I think we should set it to $3.25. If we hit that bad boy, bang, we come live.
Sounds like Johnny doesn't want to go live, guys. That's what I'm gonna. Sounds like
Johnny 325
is
live. 325 is doable, my man. We can get there. In fact, look at those peaks, right? Where do we get those top of the candle? 340. So to me, somewhere between 3 and 340, I think it's very possible we could see that maybe sometime later today, maybe tomorrow, who knows? But I'm happy to go live anytime anyway, so it don't matter. You want to go live tonight just to go live? We can do that too. 8:33, we will definitely go live when we get 8:33. No doubt about it. Oh, easy with the Johnny No Show. Come on, my man. I'm sitting here. I'm right here live right now.
I like this comment from Hannah. Hannah said, Johnny said, give me a couple hours at the lake at least. Listen, you got to respect it. You got to respect
the man.
What,
Hannah, you're not wrong. It's a beautiful sunny day where there's only a few of them. You got to take advantage of them. No question about it.
You may even get tired of boating, Johnny Crypto. So shout out to Johnny. Massive thank you to every single person in the live chat. We love you guys. I'm going to talk to Johnny. Maybe we'll get a video posted at 5:30. Typically, this is when we would record. If not, we'll be live when XRP's back above $3, or we'll see you all in the next one. Thank you, guys. Love you all.